Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now, for this video, I'd like to review a Blu-ray that I watched just last night. I got it off one of the Amazon German website, and the movie I'm going to review is one called The Maid. Now, before I say anything else about the movie and give you my own personal thoughts on it and what I thought of the story and that, I'll just give you a little bit of background on the movie itself. Okay, so The Maid is a 2020 supernatural thriller. It stars Ploy Sornanen as Joy, the main female protagonist, and Savika Chayadej, I hope I pronounced that correctly, as Uma. Now, the movie was directed by Lee Thongam. Now, The Maid, it basically tells a story of a teenager, Joy, who takes this job as a domestic maid for this rather affluent family who live in this huge rambling house. Now, as the story unfolds, Joy starts to experience, all kinds of weird and inexplicable things, around the house and that. For instance, fleeting glimpses of a spectral-like figure in the periphery of her vision, strange noises, and so on. Now, all these strange events, they seem to suggest to Joy that she perhaps is being haunted by the ghost of the former maid who disappeared in very mysterious circumstances. But is this really the case? I won't tell you any more about the movie, guys, in case you haven't seen it and want to, get it for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Right. So, on to my thoughts now on the movie as a whole. Unfortunately, guys, I have to say I found this to be a huge disappointment. I was profoundly disappointed with it. I found it to be extremely dull and slow. But it did start off, pretty promising, with another apparently traumatized maid relating to a psychiatrist at eerie experiences whilst working for the same family, in the same house, including a spooky monkey owned by the little girl who turns into this rather ferocious red-eyed baboon. But once we meet Joy and start following her exploits in a new job, I'm afraid the story, for me, started to slump into an interminable, totally ungripping bore fest. In my opinion, it was a movie that was just basically all over the place, and one that left many unanswered questions. For instance, when she first starts her job, for this family and that, she asked the man of the house, the patriarch, how come there's been a huge turnover of maids, in this particular house. But he doesn't answer a question. He just ignores it and changes the subject. So little things like that keep propping up in the movie and that, and it has the obligatory haunted house jump scares and that, and strange noises, and as I say, the fleeting apparitions at the periphery of a vision, Joy's vision. But for me, guys, the story wasn't strong enough, to sustain my interest, for a very long time, right? And basically right through to the end of the movie. In fact, guys, near the end of the movie, I find myself dropping off. That's how bored I became with The Maid. I'll just show you the back there, guys. Sorry, just show you some stills. There's the house there where Joy gets the job as the babysitter, and there's stills from the movie. Yeah, but as I say, guys, I was profoundly disappointed with this movie. And that whole thing with, the little girl's monkey turning into this, ferocious red-eyed baboon. I mean, it didn't make any sense at all. And they even put elements of slasher movie in it. There's a couple of gory scenes in that, which I thought was rather out of place, which I'd been led to believe was a purely supernatural ghost kind of foreign movie and that. So I don't know what they were thinking there when he put the slasher elements in that, but as I say, it was a movie that left many many unanswered questions, open ends and that. And I so wanted to enjoy this movie and that, I liked a lovely cover there, guys. That's what hit my eye when I was browsing and that, Amazon Germany, and I sort of I read a little bit about it and I thought it sounds okay, but as is often the case with these movies, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, isn't it? And this, I'm afraid, it missed the mark, guys, for me. It could have been a better, well, I suppose, if you kind of, if you're the sort of viewer that likes your slow burn and slow burning foreign movies, like, you know, you might enjoy it and that, but I didn't like it, guys. But as we always say, this is a matter of personal opinion. You know, I think it's one of those Marmite movies. Actually, you either like it or you loathe it. And of course, well, I didn't really loathe it, but it just didn't work for me. There was some interesting elements in it, that, you know, the girl Joy getting the job in this big rambling house with this affluent family and that. And the maid that sort of like takes her around and that and introduces, and, you know, she's kind of a head maid. She's quite abrupt with that and that. She's very officious and that, you know, and quite surly and that, you know. But and then the mother, the matriarch of the house, and that, she's a bit weird and that, you know. She's very surly and that, you know. And yeah, but as I say, there's many questions left unanswered, guys, and that it could have been a much better movie. And that if they'd have tweaked the storyline a little bit and put a little bit more in it, I think it might have been okay. But that's just my opinion. You might like The Maid. You know, I'm only saying what I thought of it. I'm not saying don't buy it. Don't waste your money in that. You know, you know, if you want to buy it, you know, try it out, because I'd be very interested to hear what you thought of it. Yeah. All right then, guys. I'm going to go on to a rating now for The Maid. I'm just going to give it a 3 out of 10, guys. Yeah. You know, it just didn't do it for me. You know, I was expecting so much from this movie, and I got so little in that. You know, but as I say, it started promising enough, and that, you know, Maid at the fore, you know, when it starts off like this, like, I think she's a former maid, you know, worked at the house before, and she seems to be a bit traumatized, and she's getting interviewed by this like psychiatrist and that, and she's relating the story about this, you know, little girl's monkey turning into this, you know, really demonic looking baboon and that. But then as it goes into Joy's story, and once Joy's story starts to unfold, it just deteriorates, guys, into well, basically a bore fest. Yeah. All right, but that's just my opinion, as I always say. That's just my opinion. Yeah. All right then, guys. So that concludes my review of the Thai horror movie, The Maid, from 2020. If by any chance you have already seen this movie, leave your comments down below. I'd be very interested to you know, hear what you thought of it and that. Yeah, as I say, it wasn't for me, guys. It was disappointing in that, and also the chore of reading the words underneath, with it being like in foreign and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind that, but when the story, I would have expected the story to be much more better, to sort of like carry me through, you know, to sustain the interest right to the very end, which unfortunately it missed the mark, and as I say, I was dropping off towards the end. Yeah. All right then, guys, that's it. If you like the video, you know, usual, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and that. And it all going well, I'll be back here soon with another video. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye.